Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fast Five with me, Erica Ballard, the online series dedicated to getting your burning health questions answered fast. This is the first ever episode of Fast Five, and I get to do it with my dear friend, Karen. And we're going to talk all today about skincare because y'all ask a lot of questions about skincare and products, but after working with Karen for God knows how many years and her being my friend for God knows how many years, she's taught me so much about the internal state that really affects your external skin. And so today we're going to learn a lot because Karen is a holistic esthetician who has been in this business for almost 2 decades. And so we have 5 questions, Karen, that people have sent in and asked that I'm going to ask you. But before we do that, I love your story. So, can you quickly
Mm.
fill people in as to why you got into this work in the first place?
Yeah, hi. So I hit about 23 and I developed cystic acne. And from, going through my teen years, escaping that and never having any, that was devastating. You went from beautiful skin to then cystic acne. So I didn't want to leave my house. It was so embarrassing. It was hard to have conversations. For anybody who knows me, I am such a people person. So that was really difficult. And then going through, the Western medicine, topical applications and antibiotics, which, as we all should know by now, that is the wrong thing to do. And, lots of money on products because that's going to save your skin. That it just doesn't work that way. So I ended up going to school to be a licensed esthetician. I had a super crunchy holistic instructor who introduced what the term holistic meant to me. And then from that point on, I just didn't stop. I just kept going. So then I became a holistic health practitioner and a graduate from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition so that I could learn deeper ways into the body as to help people with imbalances that I was seeing in their skin that I knew were never going to come from a product or an antibiotic.
Mm.
So after doing that for about 10 years, I ended up camping in the mountains with some hippies in Asheville, North Carolina. And it's been about 5 years now, and now I am a clinical herbalist also. So that's kind of my brief history.
You just know so much, and I'm so excited to dive into
Mm.
this. And so we're gonna get into the past 5 now that people have some background as to why you're such an expert on this, why I said like why I go to you, why I send almost all of my clients end up meeting Karen at
Yeah.
some point. So fast 5, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So first question is what does your skin or what does our skin say about us? And I want to just put a little context in this. Is a couple people have asked, if I have adult acne, what does this mean? Or if I have dry skin, what does this mean? And people are wondering what this stuff means and if any of it's different, if they're saying different things about what's going on with them.
Well, yeah, everybody's different. So there isn't one skin type or one skin condition, because we are all individuals. So we can't reduce that down into a reductionistic state. But so dry skin comes from different things. If you have dry, itchy skin, then we always address the liver. Always address the liver with that. And then making sure you have enough good fats and oils in your diet, nourishing hydrating herbal blends that I love to create for people. That's one of the biggest things. And then a lot of people get their topicals confused. Lotions are water based. So a lotion is better for someone who is going to have more of that oily skin. But then when we have emollients, like those rich plants and nut seed oils and all of those good essential fatty acids from our plants, that's what we need to be massaging into our skin topically. So it's always working with both and making sure you're looking at your diet. What are you consuming every day that could be drying out your tissues and creating that dry tissue state?
So to make sure I'm hearing this correctly, when we think about what
Hmm.
our skin is saying, it's saying some if it's not looking the way we want it to look, it's saying that there's probably something wrong within, whether it's the liver or other things. So that's one.
Hmm.
The other thing could be that the things that we're putting onto our body aren't the best, and we need to really reconsider some of the products.
Absolutely. For me, the way I do things is that I grow my plants, I forage for my plants, and I custom make all of my skincare. So I'm kind of out of the loop when people are like, "What do you think about this brand?" Because I really have an aversion to that. You know, our skin is our largest organ, and we should really want to nourish it and care for it. Because when we eat, our skin is the last organ to receive any type of nutrition. And from someone who studied cosmetic chemistry, and I understand how all of those massive brands that are mass produced are made, they're designed to sit on a shelf for years. And so you may get some beautiful ingredients in there, but they're going to be junked up with tons of preservatives. And they're mass produced. It's kind of like food. Do you want to really junk up what you're doing and then lather yourself with chemical toxicity that's going to penetrate into your bloodstream? So, custom herbal blends for your skin is the best thing you can do.
I totally feel that, and this is actually a perfect segue to question 2, which is, while custom herbal blends are the ideal, I do know you guys use eminence, and there's other things too
Mhm.
that, um, you use and approve. They're Karen approved, they're Materia Medica
Mhm.
approved. So when we're thinking about what ingredients we should be, or I guess rather the question 2 is, what ingredients should we be on the lookout for when purchasing skincare products?
Fragrance is the biggest. Fragrance is it's so toxic and it absorbs into your bloodstream. It's a known carcinogen. I've actually been in those labs. I've been in artificial fragrance labs. I've been in artificial food labs. I've seen how it's all made, and it's really magical how they can slap marketing on a label to make you want that and to paint that picture in your head as to why you're wearing that beautiful fragrance. And then when you actually see the chemical toxicity lab side of it, it's just terrible. But that is one of the first ones, and it's in everything. It's in your shampoos, it's in your lotions, it's in your hairsprays, it's literally in everything. So that is the number one that I look for because it's a petrochemical. It's a known endocrine disruptor.
And can you explain really quickly what an endocrine disruptor is?
Yes, endocrine disruptors mimic our own body's natural hormones. And God knows we don't need any more of that because they are everywhere. So the closer that we can live to nature, the better.
So I know you mentioned fragrance. Is there anything else though that you're like, if this is in it, not no thanks?
There's formaldehyde derivatives, and a lot of times you won't understand what they are. So it's kind of like in the world of food when they tell you, if you look at a label and you can't read it, don't eat it. Well, that's the same in skincare. If you turn around a label and you look at it and you're like, what are these 30 to 50 ingredients? And you have no idea what they are, don't use it. Don't buy it because they're hidden. They're hidden messages, just like MSG has so many different forms of MSG hidden and named different names to confuse you. They do the same thing in skincare.
Mm, so good. All right, question 3. And this is, I love this one, and I think you're gonna geek out a little bit on this one. But is, what foods do we need to eat for glowing skin?
No, all of the beautiful plants. We just need so many plants, and that doesn't mean that meat is bad. But as anyone who follows Erica, she will let you know that eat whole chemical free foods, no matter what they are, whole chemical free. Making sure that you're staying away from sugars. You know, all of those processed, refined sugars create glycation in our skin, and glycation is what breaks down our body's natural collagen. So that really helps to support the aging process in skin. So, sugar, artificial anything, in artificial ingredients, hydrogenated fats, and shop as local as you can, get to know your local farmer. You want the most nutrient dense foods as you can have.
And just to add to this question, so we'll call it like
Mhm.
3B, is there any specific foods you talked about like no chemicals,
Mhm.
foods, and you mentioned plants. Are there specific plants? Are there specific items that people should really be on the lookout for? Or if you eat whole foods, you're pretty much going to get the result you want.
Whole foods, you're really pretty much going to get the result that you want. I really do love juicing. So I do a blend of celery, lemon, and ginger every day, but I always add fat to it to make sure that that way I'm able to absorb the fat soluble vitamins in that juice. That's something that I feel like we get misguided on a lot. When it comes to juicing, a lot of people don't understand that aspect of that. But that's something that I love to do every day to keep my skin from having that ruddy, nasty look in the middle of winter, especially when you don't have that beautiful summer glow.
Awesome. All right, now question 4, and I love this one because I I am curious about this one. Of how often should you wash your face?
It depends on each person, but at least once a day. So during the winter months, my skin gets drier. So I will do a deep cleanse with a cleanser that I've created for myself and my skin type every evening. And then I will lather on all of my serums and all of my like Tulsi oils or mugwort, my beautiful, beautiful blends, love frankincense. And then in the morning, I will get up and just use warm water on my face and then just hydrate again with some plant hydrosols and more nourishing skin oils. But if you have more of an oily skin type, you're going to want to make sure that you're cleansing at least twice a day and then even adding in some exfoliation where you can do some chemical exfoliation about once a week with something that's more of a scrub. I like to make those with different herbs and clays, and then we call those cleansing grains. So they're like a soft buffer on your skin. None of that like stuck in the 90s microderm crap that people need to let go of. That is terrible. But and then there's more of like a chemical exfoliation, and I really love those where I create those with different essential fatty acids and plant alcohols that I infuse with different plant medicines. So it's a beautiful exfoliating treatment for that epithelial tissue on your skin to just break down that keratin. And then that way your skin treatments can penetrate better.
A- And just one clarification question. You mentioned that if you have more normal skin or drier skin, one time a
Hmm.
day is probably going to be enough. If you have more
Yeah.
oily, 2 times. And when you said oily, you also want to do a weekly, a weekly, what like a dry
Exfoliation.
exfoliation. If you have
Yeah.
dry skin or normal skin, do you want to do a weekly
Hmm.
exfoliation too?
Yes, absolutely. We just make them different. So we'll make one that will be more astringent, where we need to really astringe that excess oil and sebum. And then we'll do different herbs that are more hydrating and demulcent for a dry skin.
Okay, awesome. All right, and here's the last question I have for you, Karen.
Okay.
If people can only take one thing away from this conversation, what do you hope it will be?
I just hope that people can wake up to the chemical toxicities and stop letting the world of capitalism take advantage of their insecurities.
Okay, I
Mhm.
love you.
I see it every day. People come into my apothecary spa and they're with their bag of chemical toxicities from all these different very expensive skincare companies, and they are not serving them.
Mm. I think that that's a really. I want to honor what you said because it is, especially with a new year going on. It's like new year, like fit into this bikini, do these different things, and it's really health is so much simpler than is
Mhm.
out there, and it's much more natural. It's not hippie, crunchy granola like it used to be. And now a lot of this stuff is
Yeah.
so whether you get it made from someone like Karen, there are also in like Edens and Eminence and Beauty
Mhm.
Counter, these places where
Yes.
they are really trying to do better. And so I just am appreciative of you for this time together. And before I let you go, though, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that? Where can they find you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm a co-owner of an herbal apothecary spa where we focus on the inside out, not the outside in. And it's materiamedicaspa.com.
You have a pretty cool Instagram, so I'll link at that
Yes.
below too, so
Yeah.
people can follow you. And if anyone's in Indy and wants an in-person session with Karen, I highly recommend it. Moving to Colorado has been wonderful, but the facials that Karen gives is like none other. And a lot of my clients, they all
Mm.
get a benefit from that, and a lot of the tinctures, and I call them potions that Karen makes because they're
Yes,
so beautiful
potion.
and they're magical. So Karen, thank you so much for being my first guest on the Fast Five. And I know I'll talk to you soon, but bye for now.
Yay. Bye.